Thank you. Sorry I'm going out of turn. I have to go over for a DISIS event. So I appreciate the opportunity this morning to talk, and yesterday was really engaging. As a strategic communicator, I've done a lot of different messaging and narrative building over my career in the public affairs realm. But as a fellow at USAID this year, and really working in context of development, and especially with the U.S. piece, with the elections and budget issues going on, it's been an extremely interesting experience this past year. So I just wanted to maybe share two areas that may put some context of what the U.S. government's dealing with, and a lot of the discussions we've had over yesterday as well. First one is Central Asia, and second one is with youth. So in Central Asia and the chaos that it is, I love that area of all the places I've been around the world. We have an aggressive Russian media as most people's main news source. They actively spend over $1 billion on messaging efforts. GWU hosted about a month ago a great session on Russian media. And I read an article this morning actually that the Russian propaganda system has actually is connecting the US government and military forces with supporting the Taliban, and that we created ISIS in retrospect. So it's a great article, great understanding of what is out there and how Russia really approaches this piece and the money they put forward to it. Increasingly engaged China, strengthening civil society, still finding their identities, political leaders who appear to be closing space for democratic processes. So how we measure in this environment is fluid and often adjusted to local and national dynamics. How we create narratives for our programming of who we are and what we believe includes human rights, gender integration, anti-corruption, and preventing radicalization differs somewhat in Central Asia than a lot of the other regions. What works with overt aggressive messaging, such as countering violent extremism, where most people agree on the issue, may require more indirect messaging in areas like human rights, where aggressive narratives may not resonate with local populations and may even reinforce political leaders' rhetoric. We've adjusted our messaging while reinforcing actions and desired outcomes on the ground with our programming. An example for Kyrgyzstan, our top-line message is, you can picture the activities, the difficulties, and the narrative right in our message. The Kyrgyz Republic is the only freely elected parliamentary democracy in post-Soviet Central Asia. The U.S. focuses on consolidating, sustaining, and strengthening the country's hard-won democratic gains while promoting economic progress, strengthened public services, and stronger ties to the region. And you can imagine what goes along with all of those words, because we've been doing those things with USAID for 60 years in other areas of the world. With youth, we have the largest youth population in global history, combined with some of the most dynamic circumstances and security issues we've ever faced. As governments and communities we work with address these concerns, they often either view youth as the problem or the answer. And it's extremely important to understand that context and how we not only we program, but really deal with youth and deal with the governments. In recent years, as USAID and others have developed evidence of what works in youth security, identity, addressing grievances, creating opportunities, the U.S. government has realized it must understand how our partners view youth and what they view as their problems and solutions. How we engage with them and present evidence and activities must resonate to ensure we're working together and our messaging matters. Storytelling resonates with our youth, and whether it's to understand what's going on outside of their local world or better educate them on important issues, we know that how we message them matters to ensure we're not reinforcing negative images and creating more problems. A narrative we use regarding youth in Somalia is, in Somalia, USAID found that when combining secondary education with civic engagement opportunities, both participation in and support of violence dropped significantly. USAID really works to combine data with stories to help better resonate against competing narratives and messages. In summary, we must ensure that we understand local and national contexts where we work and effectively message audiences at local, district, and national levels. Those narratives and stories may evolve to ensure our intent and desired outcomes are obtained, and they may take longer to resonate as we're not only judged by our words, but also by our actions that reinforce our narratives. How we message and create narratives with global key audiences matters to ensure we have and maintain access, we're affecting positive change, and that we aren't creating unrealistic expectations that may negatively affect relationships and operations in the future. One of my goals in this fellowship is to see if the U.S. government can truly have a long view of the world. That was my number 1 goal. And not to end on a sour note, but I'm not sure we can. And I look forward to further exploring that later.